What's up guys, Edward here, Old Place Outdoors, and right here I've got this Stoeger M3020. It's a recently dropped Stoeger autoloader that they had released. It's a dedicated turkey gun, inertia driven, and it's a really budget friendly option if you're looking for a dedicated turkey gun. So we're going to get the range set up here in a little bit. We're going to go through some of the features on it and the specs and see what it's all about, and we're doing it right now. So guys, just jumping right into it, you know, some of the ground rules first. When we're anytime we're messing with a firearm, just do so safely. Make sure that that chamber's clear, and just treat the weapon like it's always loaded. When it comes to a firearm, you can't have too much safety involved. But jumping right in, looking at the gun itself, as you can see, it's finished off in that beautiful new bottomland finish, and there's just nothing like a good shotgun that's finished off in that. It just takes it right over the edge, and this one looks great right out of the box. It does come with a paracord type sling, which is really nice. I mean, a lot of your weapons now you have to add your sling to it, so at least you got an option there. I mean, I've never used a paracord quite like this as far as like one for hunting purposes. Regardless, at least you got an option, and it's always good to have an extra sling on hand anyways if you didn't wind up keeping the one that they provided. But out of the box, this gun, I measured it. It comes in right shy, the gun itself, at about 44 inches. I believe it was 44 and some change. Then of course, you know, when you add the choke, that's going to give it a little bit more length to it. But we're going to be shooting the stock choke along with a couple of Indian Creek chokes. I got the 562 and the 555 right here. We'll do some pattern testing with both of those, and just for consistency, I'm going to do it with the same loads here in a minute, and we'll speak more about that. But getting back into the gun itself, it's 20 gauge, like I said, and a lot of people ask, well, why would you even shoot a 20 gauge for turkeys? Well, my answer and response to that is why not? Because the 20 gauge, especially in your 20 gauge and even 410, the loads that they have out there for turkeys now has really bridged the gap on being able to get that payload that you need for a turkey. And so with that, you can have a lighter weapon, you can have less recoil, you can have a more compact weapon, all that packaged up into something that will deliver every bit of the power that you need to harvest a bird at most of your typical hunting distances out there. And so, and again, with TSS, it's actually extended some of those distances. What's most important when we talk about distances is to do like I do with a lot of them, and do your shooting and know what these weapons are capable of. The gun itself, like I said, is chambered at 2 3/4 and 3-inch shells. It has got your typical cross-bolt safety right here. I do like this. This is the extended bolt handle right from the factory. It's got a nice finish on it. It feels good. I noticed that was one of the first things that caught my eye. And you know, I mentioned the weight of a 20 gauge, and this one comes in at about 5.5 pounds stripped down like it is right now. Now I did take it comes with it's got the drilled and tapped receiver. I removed the rail because this guy, he wants to shoot it with just the factory dot right here. And so I took the rail off, I added some plugs to this, and I'm gonna get out there and do some shooting here in a little bit, get the range set up. And like I said, I've got the Indian Creek 555, the Indian Creek 562, and then I always recommend too, if you're getting a shotgun, especially if you're budget conscious, get out there and use the turkey choke, because these guys, they put a lot of effort into making these shotguns designed to shoot these loads effectively. And a lot of times you'll be very surprised what a stock choke will give you right out of the box. Now, the Indian Creek, I prefer those. They're a ported one, so that's actually going to take a little bit of that recoil out too. As you can see, this is a non-ported choke, but I suspect that this one is going to perform quite well too. And we're going to test all three of those here in just a few minutes. And again, for consistency, I'll be doing the same load. I'm going to be shooting the Herders number 9s. These are 3-inch shells, 1.5 ounce load, and it's number 9s with 1,200 feet per second. And again, if you haven't done, I have a lot of different TSS rounds, but if you're just kind of putting your toe in the water in TSS, this is a great option. And the reason I say that is because I have not found a weapon that I've shot as of yet that didn't perform quite well with the Herder's 20 gauge number 9s. And the big reason, now have I found stuff that performs better? Absolutely. But these right here, they're about as priced, as budget friendly as possible as you can get with TSS, but also most of your Bass Pros and Cabela's will have these readily available. So you can get in there, you can get you a box or a couple boxes, give it a try, and if you like them, you have a source to be able to find them somewhat efficiently. So all that said, I'm going to get the range set up, and we're going to get out there before it gets dark, and I'm going to put some rounds on paper. Again, going to go through both these chokes and see what they do, so y'all stay tuned. All right, guys, so just like I promised, we're going to get out here now and do some pattern testing. We've got the Stoeger M3020, and I'm going to start out with the factory choke, like I said, and I've also got a couple of IC chokes that we're going to run. Today, we're going to be shooting the Herders. This is 3-inch number 9s, and just going to shoot the same thing. The fella that asked me to get this dialed in for him wants to run just a traditional bead on it, so we don't have the luxury of adjusting the dot. I did do a couple of birdshot loads just to see what my point of aim was on it initially, but they weren't bad at all. So I've got it set up now at 40 yards, and we're gonna put some down range and see what gives here. So this is the stock choke from the Stoeger M3020 with the Herders number 9s. And it feels significantly different than that bird shot. All right, guys, we are moving on to our second shot now, and I am going to replace this stock choke now with an Indian Creek 5.62. One thing I did notice is that yesterday evening I was, put this choke in there. I was going to start out with one of the Indian Creeks, but decided to change it. But the Indian Creek chokes go in much smoother than that stock choke. It's got a light lube on there, so I don't feel the need to add anything else. But I do want to point out to you as well, as I'm putting this in, I probably see it twice a month on social media where people will ask about this gap in an Indian Creek choke. And I know you can't see it real well. I'll get some footage of that here in a bit. But that is normal. It actually tells you on the back of the box right here. It says there may be a gap of 1/32 or so between the choke and the barrel. So it's normal. Save the social media space. That question is answered. All right, now we got the same setup here. It's set with the IC 5.62. This is the Herders number 9s at 40 yards with an Indian Creek 5.62. Let's go see what we think. All right, guys, we are down to the 5.55 now, Indian Creek. I'm gonna give it a whirl now, and got it put in there. And one thing to keep in mind with this, just a traditional bead, is you really don't have any forgiveness. You got to keep that cheek really low. I had one that I fluked a little bit. I think I was a little high on, so I think it was in me. All right, this is the 5.55 with the Herders number 9s. Can feel it. All right, guys, so that was our quick little shoot here on the Stoeger M3020. That's the autoloader that they've recently released, inertia driven, much like the Benelli. Really like the way it shoots. Gonna do some more shooting with it, but we did want to do some pattern checks real quick. And I want to show you Again, just like I said earlier in the video, this is our stock choke right there, and that's not right out of the box. I mean, that's what you're getting with number 9s with TSS. I'll probably shoot this as well with some long beards just to see how it does with some more conventional loads. But as we move through, this is our Indian Creek 5.62, and you can see it starts tightening up. You can get this little, you can see it starting to get a little bit more of a hot center up here. And every one that I shot was a little bit high, so I wound up shooting a little bit low for each of these. But moving on down, we've got the Indian Creek 5.55 now, and you can see it gets much more dense up here. Again, I was shooting almost at the bottom of this paper in order to compensate, and that's where putting a red dot or an optic on there can really help you to dial those shots in. Gonna keep on shooting it to where I can really kind of define exactly what it would be recommended or what's needed on this, but all in all, good pattern across the board with all that, with the number 9s. And like the way it shoots, so it's a great gun. If you're looking for a really good auto loader that won't break the bank, that Stoeger M3020 might just be the one.